Welcome to the Pulsating Biology, and in today's video we are covering the topic of the malaria for O-levels biology. Since we have covered most of the topics in the previous video, this time we are going to discuss about the malaria. And again, before discussing the disease, we are going to talk about the cause of the disease, and the cause of the disease is termed as the pathogen. Pathogen are those substances that are basically the cause of the disease. When you talk about the pathogen of malaria, you get to know that the pathogen of malaria is basically protozoa, or that is termed as the plasmodium. This plasmodium is neither a virus, neither it is a bacteria, but it is a protozoa. This protozoa basically is a form that is, you can say, a unicellular form. Why we do not say that plasmodium is termed as the bacteria? Please do not make it a difference between a bacteria and a protozoa, as the bacteria does not have a nucleus, whereas protozoa has a nucleus. And now to understand more, have a look at this diagram that basically protozoa is a single cellular cell that consists of one single nucleus that exists on its own. That's why we say that it is neither bacteria, it is neither virus, it is a protozoa. Protozoa is a single nucleus cell that basically lives on its own. And the pointer for the plasmodium is that it is termed as the parasite. We're going to discuss about what is a parasite in a much more detail, but first let's talk about the vector of malaria. When you talk about the vector of malaria, the vector means by which it is basically transmitted, or by which it is basically being caused by as an organism. So the vector of malaria is basically a mosquito that is termed as the female Anopheles. Female Anopheles. This is the vector of malaria. Now we're going to discuss about the parasite, how plasmodium is termed as the parasite and what is the function of parasite. Now let's talk about the parasite. When you talk about the parasite is basically a kind of an organism that lives either in the inside another organism, or basically on the another organism, or on another organism. This is the basic definition of parasite, that a parasite is a kind of an organism that either lives inside or either lives on another organism. Traditionally, we say that the parasites are basically refers to organism with life stages that goes through different stages, that those life stages that needed more than that needs basically more than one host. Therefore, we say that either they live inside of an organism or they live on the organism. When you talk about the parasite, you need to talk about the colony that is formed by parasite, that is termed as the parasitism. Parasitism basically is a form of symbiosis. Symbiosis, what is it? It is basically a form of symbiosis. Symbiosis is the working of different organisms together. Basically, in this symbiosis, what happens is that one organism, for example, that organism is parasite. So that one organism benefits at the expense of another basically organism on the difference of like species. For example, there are two characteristics in this symbiosis. Number one is the parasite and the other one is the host. So what happens in the parasitism? The parasite is the organism that is basically gaining the benefit on the behalf and being placed on the host. This is termed as this relation itself is known as the parasitism. This is the difference between the parasites and how multiple parasites can form a colony, form of a symbiosis, that is termed as the parasitism.